Let me be honest with you right from the start. Most men don't fail at home workouts because they lack equipment. They fail because they lack structure. Think about it. You buy a pair of dumbbells, maybe a bench, resistance bands. You feel motivated for a few days. You even tell yourself, this is it. I'm going to be consistent this time. Then what happens? You skip one day, then two. Then suddenly that equipment becomes decoration in your room. And it's frustrating. Not because you don't want results, but because deep down you know you should be doing better. Now here's the truth. Nobody tells you. Home workouts are not easier than gym workouts. In many ways, they are harder. At the gym, the environment pushes you. People are training. There's energy. There's pressure. At home, you're fighting distractions, your phone, your bed, your comfort zone. So if you've ever felt like you're not disciplined enough, I want you to drop that idea right now. It's not a discipline problem. It's a system problem. And today, we fix that. Let's start by shifting your mindset, because this is where everything changes. When most men think about working out at home, they think small. They think, I'll just do a few reps here and there. I'll squeeze in something when I have time. I'll try to stay active. That mindset will keep you stuck forever, because building muscle, strength, and a solid physique doesn't happen randomly. It happens through intention. You need to start seeing your home like a training ground, not a convenience. This is your space, your lab, your testing ground for discipline. And once that switch flips in your mind, everything starts to change. Now, let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever noticed how some guys get incredible results with very basic equipment, while others have everything and still look the same year after year? The difference is not the tools. It's how they use them. A single pair of dumbbells used correctly can build serious muscle. Resistance bands used with control and progression can challenge even advanced lifters. But most people never get to that level because they train without a plan. They go random. Chest today, maybe arms tomorrow. Skip legs completely. No progression, no tracking, no real intensity. And then they wonder why nothing changes. So here's the first principle I want you to lock into your mind. Your body responds to stress that is structured and progressive, not random effort. Structured effort. That means every workout you do at home should have a purpose, not just I want to sweat. But I'm training my chest and triceps today. I'm increasing my reps from last week. I'm pushing closer to failure than before. That's how transformation actually happens. Now let's talk about something most people avoid, intensity. Because this is where home workouts either succeed or completely fall apart. At the gym, it's easier to push yourself. You can add more weight, try new machines, compete with others. At home, you don't have that external push, so you have to create it. And this is where most men stop too early. They do 10 reps, feel a little burn, and stop. But real progress begins when it gets uncomfortable, when your muscles start shaking, when your mind says that's enough, but your body still has more. That's the zone where growth happens. And yes, it's hard, but that's the point. Let me paint a quick picture for you. Imagine two guys doing push-ups at home. The first guy does 10 reps, feels tired, and stops. The second guy does 10, pauses, pushes to 12, then 14, and squeezes out 2 more with proper form. Same exercise. Completely different results over time. Why? Because one is training casually. The other is training with intent. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You don't need a full gym setup to create that level of intensity. You just need to understand how to manipulate what you already have. And that's exactly what we're going to get into. Because in the next section, I'm going to break down the exact equipment you actually need and what you don't, so you stop wasting time and start training effectively. I'll also show you how to turn simple tools into serious muscle-building weapons. Because once you understand that, your home workouts will never feel limited again. So if you've ever felt stuck, inconsistent, or unsure if home workouts can really work for you, stay with me, because we're just getting started. Section 2, the only equipment you actually need and how to use it like a pro. Now let's clear something up immediately. You do not need a fancy home gym to build a strong muscular body. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes men make is waiting until they have perfect equipment before they start taking training seriously. They tell themselves, I'll begin when I get more weights. I need better gear first. I can't really train properly at home. And just like that, weeks turn into months. No progress, no momentum. But here's the truth. You don't need more equipment. You need better execution. Let's break this down properly. If you had to build an effective home setup from scratch, there are only a few key tools that actually matter. First, dumbbells. This is your foundation. With a good pair of dumbbells, especially adjustable ones, you can train your entire body. Chest presses, rows, shoulder presses, squats, lunges, everything. But here's where most people get it wrong. They treat dumbbells like light accessories instead of primary tools. They rush through reps, they swing the weights, they don't control the movement, and then they say home workouts aren't effective. No, the problem isn't the dumbbells, it's the way you're using them. When you slow down your reps, control the weight, and push close to failure, those same dumbbells suddenly feel 10 times heavier. Next, a bench. Now, is a bench absolutely necessary? No, but it gives you a serious advantage because it allows you to hit angles that are difficult to train on the floor. Incline presses for upper chest, better range of motion for chest and shoulders, more stability for certain movements. But even if you don't have a bench, you can adapt. Floor presses, elevated push-ups, improvised setups. Remember, limitations force creativity, and creativity builds stronger athletes. Now let's talk about something that's massively underrated. Resistance bands. A lot of guys ignore bands because they don't feel as intense as weights. Big mistake. Bands create constant tension, which is something dumbbells alone can't always provide. That means your muscles are working not just at the top of the movement, but all the way through. You can use bands to increase resistance on push-ups, add tension to squats, improve your pull movements, even simulate cable exercises. And when you combine bands with dumbbells, now you're playing a completely different game. But here's the part most people never think about. It's not just about what you have. It's about how you challenge your muscles over time, because your body adapts quickly. If you keep doing the same weight, same reps, same routine, your progress will slow down and eventually stop. This is where something called progressive overload comes in, and this concept alone can completely transform your results. Let me explain it in a simple way. Your muscles grow when you give them a reason to. That reason is stress, but not just any stress, increasing stress over time. So if today you do 10 reps of a dumbbell press, next week you aim for 12, or you increase the weight slightly, or you slow down the tempo to make it harder. That small increase tells your body, adapt, get stronger, build more muscle. And when you repeat that process consistently, that's when real transformation happens. Now here's something powerful you can start doing immediately. Instead of asking, do I have enough equipment? Start asking, how can I make this exercise harder? Can you slow it down? Can you add a pause at the bottom? Can you squeeze more reps out? Because once you start thinking like that, you stop being limited by your environment and you start taking control of your results. Let's make this practical. Say you're doing a simple dumbbell curl. Most people lift the weight up, drop it down, and repeat. But if you lift for 2 seconds, hold for 1 second at the top, lower for 3 seconds, that same weight suddenly feels completely different. Your muscles are under tension longer. You're working harder without adding any extra weight. That's how smart training works. And this is the shift I want you to make today. Stop chasing more equipment. Start mastering the basics. Because when you master the basics, you can build an impressive physique almost anywhere. Now in the next section, we're going deeper, because having the right equipment and using it properly is only part of the equation. What really changes everything is how you structure your workouts. And I'm going to show you exactly how to build a simple but powerful home workout routine that actually delivers results. No guesswork, no randomness, just a clear system you can follow. Stay with me. Section 3, the simple home workout system that actually builds muscle. Now, this is where everything starts to come together, because even if you have the right equipment, even if your mindset is starting to shift, if your workouts are not structured properly, you'll still feel stuck. And this is exactly where most men go wrong. They train hard, but not smart. They jump from one exercise to another, no clear plan, no consistency, and then they wonder why their body isn't changing. So let's fix that. I'm going to give you a simple system. Not complicated, not overwhelming, but powerful enough to build real muscle and strength from home. And once you understand this, you'll never have to guess what to do again. First, you need to understand this principle. Your body doesn't grow from random workouts. It grows from repeated, structured effort over time. That means your training needs a pattern, a rhythm, something your body can adapt to and improve from. So here's a proven structure you can follow, a 4-day training split. Simple, effective, sustainable. Day 1, upper body. Day 2, lower body. Day 3, rest or active recovery. Day 4, upper body. Day 5, lower body. Day 6, optional, light workout or mobility. Day 7, rest. That's it. Now let's break down what actually happens inside those days. On your upper body days, your focus is chest, back, shoulders, arms, and you don't need 20 exercises, you need the right ones. For example, a pushing movement for chest, a pulling movement for back, a pressing movement for shoulders, and a couple of arm-focused exercises. That's enough if you do them properly. On your lower body days, you're targeting quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves. Again, simple movements, squats, lunges, hip hinges, calf raises, nothing fancy, but extremely effective when done with intensity and control. Now, here's where most people mess this up. They focus too much on variety and not enough on progression. They keep changing exercises every week. New routine, new style, new plan, but their body never gets a chance to adapt and improve. Consistency beats variety every time. So instead of constantly switching things up, stick to your core exercises for a few weeks. Track your reps, track your effort, push yourself to improve even slightly each session. That's how you build momentum. Now let's talk about something that completely transforms your results, how hard you actually train. Because doing the right exercises is one thing, but pushing your muscles close to their limit, that's what makes the difference. Here's a simple rule you can follow. For most of your sets, you should feel like you could only do 1 or 2 more reps before stopping. That's the sweet spot. Not too easy, not completely exhausted, but right at the edge where your body is forced to adapt. Let's make this real. If you're doing dumbbell bench press and you stop at 8 reps, but you could have done 15, you didn't challenge your muscles enough. But if you push to 10, maybe 11, and you're struggling on the last rep, now you're in the right zone. That's where growth happens. Now here's another game changer most people ignore. Rest time. Yes, even at home, this matters. If you rush through your workout with almost no rest, you're not training for strength or muscle, you're just tiring yourself out. Give your body time to recover between sets, about 60 to 90 seconds for most exercises. That way you can perform each set with real effort. And here's something I want you to really think about. Your workout is not just about movement. It's about quality effort over time. You can spend 20 minutes training with focus, intensity, and purpose, and get better results than someone wasting 60 minutes doing random exercises. Now imagine this. You follow this system for just 4 weeks. Same structure, same key exercises, gradually improving your reps and effort. Week 1, you're learning the movements. Week 2, you feel more control. Week 3, you start getting stronger. Week 4, you notice visible changes. That's how progress builds. Not overnight, but steadily. And once you see that progress, something powerful happens. You stop relying on motivation and you start building discipline, because now you're not guessing anymore. You know what works. Now in the next section, we're going to tackle the silent killers of your progress. The mistakes that look small but completely destroy results over time. Things most men don't even realize they're doing. And once you fix them, your results won't just improve, they'll accelerate. Stay with me. Section 4, the silent mistakes killing your progress and how to fix them fast. Now, this is the part most people don't expect, because up to this point, everything sounds clear. You've got the mindset, you understand the equipment, you have a structured workout system. So logically, results should follow. But here's the reality. A lot of men still train consistently and see little to no progress. Not because they're lazy, not because home workouts don't work, but because of a few silent mistakes that quietly destroy their results. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they're making them. Let's start with the first one. Training without real intensity. This one is huge because on the surface, it looks like you're doing everything right. You're showing up, you're completing your sets, you're going through the motions, but deep down, you're not pushing yourself. You stop when it starts to feel uncomfortable, not when it actually becomes challenging. And over time, your body adapts to that low level of effort. So nothing changes. Here's the fix. Start being honest with yourself during your workouts. Ask, could I have done more? If the answer is yes, you probably should have. Now, this doesn't mean you destroy yourself every session, but it does mean you consistently push closer to your true limit. That's where progress lives. The second mistake, inconsistency disguised as being busy. This one hits hard because it feels valid. Work, school, responsibilities, life gets full, and suddenly missing one workout becomes missing 3, then a whole week. And once that rhythm breaks, it's hard to restart. So instead of relying on motivation, you need to build a non-negotiable schedule, something simple and realistic, 4 days a week, same time if possible. Treat it like an appointment you don't cancel, because consistency beats perfection every single time. Now, here's a mistake that almost nobody talks about enough. Doing too much too soon. You feel motivated, so you go all in. Long workouts, too many exercises, training every day, and for a week or two, it feels great. Then fatigue hits. Your body gets sore, your energy drops, your motivation crashes, and suddenly you stop completely. Progress doesn't come from extreme bursts of effort. It comes from sustainable consistency. So pace yourself, do enough to challenge your body, but not so much that you burn out. Now let's talk about something subtle but powerful, ignoring form and control. This one quietly destroys results because when you rush your reps, when you swing the weights, when you rely on momentum instead of muscle, you reduce the effectiveness of every single exercise. Think about it like this. Your muscles don't count reps, they respond to tension. So if your form is off, you're not creating the right kind of tension, which means less growth. The fix? Slow down. Control the movement. Feel the muscle working. It might make your workouts harder at first, but it will make them far more effective. Now here's another big one. Lack of progression. You remember what we talked about earlier, progressive overload. But here's where people slip up. They understand it in theory, but don't apply it in practice. They use the same weights, same reps, same effort, week after week. And your body? It adapts. Once it adapts, it has no reason to grow, so your progress stalls. The solution is simple, but requires intention. Track your workouts, even if it's just in your phone. Reps, weight, effort, and every week aim to improve something. Even a small improvement is still progress. Now let's address something that might surprise you. Comparing yourself to others, especially in the age of social media. You see guys with perfect physiques, perfect lighting, perfect routines, and you start questioning your own progress. But here's the truth. You're not seeing the full picture. You don't see their starting point. You don't see their struggles. You don't see what's real and what's edited. Your only real competition is who you were last week. That's it. If you're improving, even slightly, you're on the right path. And finally, one of the most overlooked mistakes of all, lack of patience. This one quietly ruins everything because we live in a world that expects fast results, but your body doesn't work like that. Real transformation takes time, weeks, months, consistent effort. So if you don't see instant changes, don't panic, don't quit. Stay consistent because the results you're looking for are being built beneath the surface. Now think about everything we've covered so far. You've fixed your mindset. You understand your equipment. You have a structured plan, and now you've eliminated the biggest mistakes. At this point, you're already ahead of most people. But there's one final piece that brings everything together, something that determines whether you stay consistent or fall off again. and that is your discipline and lifestyle. Because in the next section, we're going beyond workouts. We're talking about how to build a system that keeps you locked in long term, not just for a few weeks, but for life. Stay with me. Section 5. Discipline, lifestyle, and the system that keeps you consistent for life. Now, this is where everything either comes together or falls apart, because you can have the best workout plan, the right equipment, perfect knowledge, but if you can't stay consistent, none of it matters. Let's be real for a second. Starting is easy. Anyone can feel motivated for a few days. You watch a video, you feel inspired, you say, "This time I'm serious." And for a short while, you are. But then life steps in. You feel tired one day, busy the next, unmotivated after that, and slowly you fall off. Not because you're incapable, but because you relied on motivation instead of building a system. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop relying on motivation. Start building discipline through systems, because motivation comes and goes. But a solid system, that keeps you going even on days you don't feel like it. So how do you actually build that? Let's make it practical. First, lock in your workout identity. This is deeper than just saying, "I want to work out." You need to start seeing yourself as the kind of man who trains consistently. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, but consistently. Because once that identity becomes real to you, your actions start aligning with it automatically. Second, make your workouts non-negotiable, not optional, not flexible, non-negotiable. Just like eating, just like sleeping. Even if it's a short session, even if you're not feeling your best, you show up, because consistency builds momentum, and momentum makes everything easier. Now here's something powerful that most people overlook. Reduce friction. Make it easy for yourself to start your equipment visible. Set your workout time in advance. Remove small barriers that make you delay, because the harder it is to start, the more likely you are to skip it. And on the flip side, make it harder to quit. Remind yourself why you started, the results you want, the confidence you're building, the version of yourself you're becoming, because discipline grows when your reason is strong enough. Now let's talk about lifestyle, because workouts alone are not enough. If you're training hard, but your lifestyle doesn't support your goals, your progress will slow down. Start with something simple: sleep. If you're constantly tired, your performance drops, your recovery slows, your motivation disappears. You don't need perfection, but aim for consistency, because your body builds strength and muscle when you recover, not just when you train. Next, nutrition. Now, this doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need extreme diets or strict plans, but you do need awareness. Are you eating enough protein? Are you fueling your body properly? Are you overeating without realizing? Think of it like this. Your workouts are the trigger. Your nutrition is the building material. Without the right fuel, your results will always be limited. Now, here's something that separates people who succeed long-term from those who constantly restart. They simplify everything. They don't overthink. They don't chase perfection. They focus on showing up, doing the work, improving gradually. And over time, that consistency compounds. Week by week, month by month. You don't even realize how far you've come until one day you look back and everything is different. Now imagine this version of yourself. You wake up with more energy. You feel stronger, more confident in your body, more disciplined in your life. Not just physically, but mentally, because training doesn't just change your body, it changes how you see yourself. And that's the real transformation. So here's what I want you to take away from this entire conversation. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need endless motivation. You need a clear system, consistent effort, and the discipline to keep going, even when it's not easy. Because if you can master that, there's no limit to what you can build, not just in your body, but in every area of your life. And now it's on you. No more waiting, no more overthinking. Start where you are, use what you have, and build from there. Because the strongest version of you, he's not in the future. He's built one workout at a time. Let's get to work.